Let's get more on China's new VAT tax system with Ronald Wan. He's the chief executive of Partners Capital International. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you.
All right, so China is implementing a VAT system across all industries that previously had a business tax. Now, this is China's biggest tax overhaul in over 20 years. Ronald, what is the reasoning behind this?
I think tax reform is a very key part of the economic structural reform in mainland China. In particularly, the Chinese government tried to change their policy, shifting from the monetary to the fiscal side. Basically, they want the benefit to go to the companies directly. So tax cut, tax reform is a very important part. So basically, as we have seen the changes shifting from the revenue tax to the VAT. Basically, I think the government want the enterprises to get some sort of tax incentives, basically using the tax system to make more business and to make more investment and to encourage the business activities. This is the key part of the structural plan. Basically, we've seen that a lot of companies can reduce their tax payment, and effectively they can invest more in various fixed investment and other even in other R&D research and development area. I think it is good for the economy as a whole. It can get the benefit directly.
Well, the VAT tax means that at the end of the day, it's the consumer that's paying it. Now, to your point, that may help ease the burden of companies, allowing them to invest and develop more. But how is that going to affect consumer spending?
I think we need to look at the consumer spending side carefully. Of course, from what we have seen in the market, a lot of manufacturers, a lot of companies pass on the tax to the consumer directly. But that is only one side of the story. And the other side of the story is that the company can use a lot of tax incentives to reduce their cost issues and reduce their burden. So effectively, if they can lower the cost of the product, basically the consumer can get benefit indirectly. Of course, judging from the fact or the situation we have seen now, if the company simply pass on the tax payment to the consumer, and the consumer find that everything's become so expensive now, and we reluctant to spend. Basically, that is not how we are going to see in the market over the longer run. But over a shorter period of time, that may happen. Of course, we still need to look at the influence and the impact carefully. But I don't think that it will, go on for a longer term of period.
So you think this is going to be a short-term measure, implementing this VAT tax?
I think the VAT tax is not a short-term measure; it's a long-term measure. Basically, they're trying to, encourage, the manufacturing sector, basically to have some sort of structural reform, let the economy shifting from the, simple manufacturing to more, service-based, and to more, consumer spending side of the, economy. So I think it is a long-term plan, but basically, we still need to look at carefully, how the plan, how the scheme will be implemented, because I think that there will be a lot of fine-tuning required. Of course, we are also in a test period, trial run period. A lot of changes will be ongoing, I think in this 1 or 2 years.
Well, local governments have been particularly reliant on the revenue that comes from businesses. They're going to be suffering now with this change. What does that mean for them?
I think, we look at the tax scheme structure. Of course, there is a significant change. The local government get less. But if the economy, if the companies can perform better with the new schemes, I think their revenue and their business activities will be increasing again, and then the local government still can get some sort of other revenue through other tax means. Of course, the parts revenue-based tax is no longer applicable, but we still have a lot of other sales income and a lot of economic income, a lot of revenue coming from the other angles of the economy. So I don't think that the local government will suffer over a longer period of time. Of course, in a short period of time, I think a lot of things still need to be measured and need to be looked at carefully. In particular, in this year, we are looking at a more emphasis on the fiscal policy. So basically, fiscal or even budget deficit is the key of the government to try to encourage and to promote a healthier and more active economic environment. So I think that short term will suffer, but over a longer period of time, the government, no matter it was central government or the local government, they can get more in terms of revenue and tax income in future.
Thanks for your insight, Ronald Wan, Chief Executive of Partners Capital International.